Everyone, welcome to episode number 10 of Heartsline Podcast. This is my new friend Thomas Medonis, right? Is that correct?
Medonis, yeah.
Medonis, thank you.
Yep.
And from what I know, he is an author. It looks like you've got quite a bit of books published, which is really cool. And you can find them on Amazon Kindle. That's where I was reading one of yours. And is it true that you're also an organic farmer?
Yeah, I was certified organic for 5 years. I was doing farm markets for like a 10-year span with my ex-wife's family and stuff, and I decided to create my own organic farm. And yeah, I have a couple greenhouses, a lot of blackberries, and I began growing cannabis as it's become legal in Connecticut. And I've had my medical card for a number of years. So it's been great to incorporate all of that together, food and plant medicine and everything. Yeah, and I love it. I have 4 kids, single dad, so as much as I can grow my own food and save money on organic food in my backyard, I do it. And I also kind of do the permaculture thing, which I try to do, grow things as like perennial form or self-sowing, like wild arugulas everywhere, and bok choy is growing crazy, strawberries. So I kind of let it go a little too wild. But it's nice this time of year, fall, things are dying, slowing down, so I can really do a lot of deadheading and trimming and pruning of all the gardens and stuff. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to ask you because I'm someone who does not know pretty much anything, but I'm really interested in starting to grow my own food. Do you have any tips? Like, how did you get into it? Did you take a class or anything like that, or read a book?
No, it was definitely environment. I married the farmer's daughter. I'm a city boy from Hartford originally, a punk city boy, and just the necessity of real food.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I'm not really going to get into industrialized farming and what I've seen and doing farm markets and stuff. I mean, corn, I mean, we can do such a long talk on just GMO corn and Roundup and everything, and the court system
Mhm. I
just
know
being.
about Roundup, yeah.
But yeah, so that's besides the point. But I would say like soil is the most important thing, and that's really how I started growing stuff, because I saw like tomatoes grown in bags and stuff in greenhouses and stuff, and just synthetic stuff being pumped into it, and it's like
Mm.
plastic produce is kind of all that's created now, and it's really not even real food anymore. So I would say always start with the soil. And Paul Stamets, the mushroom guy, I mean, he's so on top, cutting edge, all the research on mushrooms and how they can enhance the earth and the soil and things like that. And of course, compost, it's very easy to go to your hardware store, and I just got some compost hummus mix, a bag, and do that. And I recycle my paper bags from the stores, and I put it as like a weed prevention, and it biodegrades. As long as it doesn't have print on it, it's considered organic. You can use it in organic growing.
Mm.
So that's another way to really enhance the growing, keep the weeds down, and feed the soil all together, that whole cycle and everything. So I would say always start with that, but then the water and everything plays a huge factor. It's like everything else, attention and TLC goes a
Mhm.
really long. Yeah.
Yeah, do you use a specific kind of water when you grow, or just?
No, no. What I do, I have this big jug of I don't know, some kind of fish fertilizer, Alaska or something, and I mix that with water often. But also I get, like, you can buy bags of chicken. I used to have chickens, but now I just buy bags of chicken manure dried, and it doesn't really attract vermin, and that's quick nitrogen. I just came across, you can soak a banana in water for over a night or so, and you get potassium. Potassium, just as humans, is imperative for plants as well. And then burning wood in the winter, bonfires get the potash, boom, put it in there, and you pretty much have everything you need.
Mm.
And it doesn't take a lot of money to get the type of fertilizer you need, you know. So.
That's awesome. I really want to learn about this. I have a friend she took a break from school and she's finally going back. And I asked her what she's taking. I think she said sustainable horticulture or something like that. And I just feel like that's so smart. Like I got my bachelor's and I haven't gone back because I just don't want to put myself into more debt. And if I'm going to learn something, right, like I want to learn something actually that I'm going to use that's going to help me. You know, I took some environmental science. All the science stuff, I took geology. That stuff was helpful. But yeah, I'm really excited to learn about actually growing my own food. I have a bearded dragon reptile. He can only eat organic. If he eats something regular, he could die because of the pesticides.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's why I actually started eating organic, because I have to buy it for him. And so I'm like, all right. And then I try to eat what I feed him, because it's like, you know, it's helping both of us. Like we're both being healthy, right? We're both eating this bok choy and this squash. But I would like to also grow them myself. I just know, do you think it's a lot harder to do it organically or no?
No, I don't think so. And I think it's all experience and stuff. You know, I'm like, I work in education and I have my bachelor's degree, but it's like writing and farming, gardening. It's all about educating myself and
Yeah.
and yeah, I think organically maybe at first seems intimidating, but I really think it's the social programming and mind control of the big John Deere tractor spraying everything, the fields, mass things. I mean, maybe they can produce more food, but cost-wise, I mean, organic can be definitely cheaper, especially if you can create your own compost. You have access to like a lot of food scraps or something, a lot of leaves and stuff. So you know, there's many factors, but I think cost-wise maybe be the same. I've never really done too much research into like bulk um, organic insecticides and stuff, herbicides and stuff. So I can't really make an honest academic estimate. Yeah, I think it's doable, but I think it's a different way of life. And like you said, it's sustainable horticulture and like permaculture, and you have to grow the crops that are seasonable. You
Mm-hmm.
can't grow, you know, tomatoes in December in Alaska. You know, you need so many resources to produce that, keep the greenhouses warm and stuff, electricity. So, you know, grow cabbage, lettuces in the greenhouses without any heat, you know. And Elliot Coleman, I've read a lot on. If you want to, I mean, he's grown year round in Maine in greenhouses and stuff. Does like the greatest, gives you the formulas for organic preparations and stuff. So Elliot Coleman, I highly recommend his literature, picture books and everything. But yeah, I forgot about him. That was years and years ago. But he really set the stage for me to grow year round sustainably without really any resources, or really don't even use much irrigation water. I have a well and stuff, but yeah, it's interesting how Mother Nature works, you know.
Yeah. Um, Also, I know, yeah, like you're talking about the way that they do farming now, it's for mass production, and it's also to preserve it, to like ship it places so it won't go bad. So it does make sense that if you're doing it yourself in your own backyard for yourself and your family,
Neighbor.
um, yeah, your neighbors, your community, it does make sense that it would be sustainable to do it organically. You don't need to add all that extra, all those preservatives and all that crap. Like, and you're actually like, I don't know, I like taking care of whatever I'm growing. Like if it's whatever it is, you know, I've grown tomatoes and things like that, like out of little pots. But you know, you're monitoring it, you're kind of caring for it daily and things like that. Um, yeah. So I think that that is, yeah, it shouldn't be something that feels out of reach, right?
No, I agree. And I think it's, yeah, therapy. You know, we are what we eat. And getting our hands dirty, it's labor of love. It's, you know, bending over. You know, I was made a comment. I went to out to breakfast with my friend the other day, and it was all old dudes. Every one of them had a cane and could barely walk in their 50s and 60s. And it's like, why is this? Why is everyone in such rough shape in their later years? You know, I don't know. I think our food has really diminished our quality of life, and I think we just have to get back to basics of creating and knowing to create. Everything is provided for us now. We're so lazy in everything.
Oh, yeah. No, you're so right. We don't know how to survive. And that should be basic because we're so advanced, right? But if you can't even survive like out in nature on your own,
I,
how advanced are we, right?
I agree. Nothing brings more joy. I work at an elementary school, just maintenance guy, janitor, whatever. Um, but nothing brings more joy to the kids than picking the food they grow in our little mini garden in the back of the building. You know,
Mhm.
the how much it brings them happiness, and it tastes so good too. It just tastes so much. I pick at it sometimes, make sure the teachers aren't looking.
Yeah, I get to experience that in Oregon because they're invasive, but blackberries grow everywhere. But yeah, they're a pain to deal with. But
I have so
but
blackberries here. Yeah,
me too. Yeah.
that's like my biggest crop.
Yeah, I love them though. Like it's so nice to be able to just pick berries off the bush and you know,
They're
you're supposed to clean them, but
so healthy for you. I have so many in the freezer, and my favorite saying is, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's like my favorite saying ever.
nice. Yes, I love blackberries so much. Um, so did you want to talk about anything that was in the book that you had me
No,
check out?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I enjoy talking all things food. I know we were at first we were talking about plant medicine
Yeah.
and stuff, so we can slowly go into that. But yeah, I mean,
I would love to talk about that. It's something that I hardly ever talk about because, you know, there's not that many people who want to talk about it and then especially like publicly, you
I
know?
know it is. It's so awkward now. And seeing marijuana is legal now, I don't really care. I mean, I've been smoking so long since I was a kid, but I gave it up many times. I'm a state wrestler, NCAA regional champ college wrestler, best-selling writer. Um, so I really think the lethargic stereotype of, you know, being a pothead and stuff is so far-fetched.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's insulting, and you know, people understand, you know, my childhood was very traumatic and stuff and very difficult. And, you know, when you're grow up and your mind's kind of all over the place and crazy, there's really no stability. And I think, you know, for a lot of people that have gone through really tough times, it's a stabilizing thing for a lot of people. It does so much for
Oh
epilepsy. I'm talking about God.
yeah.
And it calms so many things in the brain and nervous system. And it just is very insulting that, you know, how can someone that never used something tell me it's bad for me? You know, my mom was a cop, a retired cop, but my dad was a alcoholic musician, so I kind of have both ends of the spectrum, which I like and I don't like.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I think there should be some order always, and you know, it does seem like it does somewhat damage younger kids into their 20s, certain brain development. So I think, you know, some kind of regulation like that may be important, but I don't think the state should be regulating anything, all things plant medicine, and rather than say that that's great, you're medicating yourself, it's so efficient, so effective, you don't have to get big pharma involved. But no, you know what? We're going to arrest you for smoking a blunt. And because you had mental malnourishment as a child and you were smoking weed to feed that help and cry out for, you know, help and love, we're going to lock you in prison and corrupt you and corrupt your soul for the rest of your life. And that's what America has become. Not helping, enriching the horrible beast system. That's all it is. People need help. They need love. People are so deprived of love.
Well, our whole entire system is based off of illness and profit. And so something that actually heals you and is beneficial for you is illegal, right?
Oh,
Federally
man.
and prohibited, outlawed.
It was the
And
class of a drug by the UN for years.
yeah, and it's still Schedule 1, which is no medicinal purposes. That hasn't been fully changed. And they're more than willing to give you some cigarettes and alcohol. Doesn't matter how bad that is for you, taking you to the grave, addictive, just terrible, dismantling your whole life. But that is perfectly okay.
Yeah, no, alcohol ruined my father. He died at 41, and you know, I'll never drink again. I was in AA for a few years, and it really helped. But again, I find good results in plant medicine, and yeah, I mean, I don't even want to drink. I mean, the damage it does to the body alone is crazy, and it makes me super depressed. It's like really bad. And alcohol causes so much accidents and fights and everything. I'm sorry. Ganja makes you a better driver. I'm sorry. If you take a test with someone that smoked at least 5 times in their life, they're a better driver. They drive slower. I mean, there's no comparison. Yeah, they drive better. Like it's a video game. And
Yeah, they
but
definitely don't drive faster. That's for sure.
like a bubble is around me. But don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about dabs and stuff. You know, I'm just an old G flower guy, and dabs are a whole different story. And that's where there's this whole gray area. The cops are like, we're gonna arrest everyone for DUI smoking ganja. So this guy with back pain who can't sit in his car, who's just smoking CBD with no THC, and you pull him over because he smells like weed, or you saw him blow smoke out of his car, and he's not high at all. But the guy dabbed in this crazy glass thing, I don't even know, is driving like 90 miles an hour, not getting pulled over, so much THC. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Again, there's going to be so much discrimination against people doing the right thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Everything is sort of backwards. Um, right? Everything's kind of reversed, it seems.
It is, yeah. And I mean, going further with that, I mean, to treat the pain in us and everything, you know, at first pain and injuries is physical. It comes to the physical body, but then it goes into our energy body, our etheric body. You know, how many people are taught or talked about the etheric energies, the invisible forces that feed us and create us, you know? So we have to learn to deal with that our energetic field, our emotions, our feelings, not just taming our liver or our blood sugar. Again, that's all eating, going back to eating and lifestyle. But we need to be able to understand that more, the mind, the consciousness. And I don't know, I just had like a shamanism healing done to me and stuff. And I'm Reiki certified, and I've read a lot of Taoism and Mantek Chi and healing ourselves within. And, you know, I think Eastern medicine doesn't really promote ganja. So, I mean, like Taoism says smoking and putting things in your lungs and stuff is not good. So,
Mhm.
you know, yeah, I am harming myself as well. So, I mean, I have to look at both sides to be intelligent. So,
Yeah, yeah. And then there's the question of, yeah, I know it produces a different chemical when you eat it, but is that harmful? I don't see any harm in it, except for that you can do too much.
no, I agree. Excuse me. Yeah, I've actually been making some edibles, and they definitely make you feel different than smoking.
Hmm.
And I think they improve my stomach functioning. I really do. It feels better. Yeah. So
Cool.
maybe you're on.
Well, I'm just saying that as someone who has had asthma from like 12 years old, from exercising and things like just random things like allergies and stuff can set off my asthma. And smoking isn't just all around, it's just not great for me. I actually like the ritual, but
Mm.
um I try to just take extra care of my lungs since they're already a little bit
Hmm.
um, compromised, I guess. So
Hmm.
eating it to me is the safest thing for me, like as far as like taking care of my health. But yeah, what was I gonna say? This remind. Oh, do you do you have anything to say about what you were talking about, like the ether body and things like that? Because I was reading your work and I don't fully understand it like I do. Like I everything that you wrote resonated with me, but what do you think is the easiest way to understand it?
Well, I don't know. It's really such a tough concept to grasp. I know. I love like Rudolf Steiner, Alice Bailey. I've read a lot of their stuff, but Rudolf Steiner kind of, I mean, maybe this is my interpretation or anything, is like the first like human form wasn't really physical form. It was energetic, like a spiritual being, and it was both male and female. It was complete. And through the evolution of the earth and the earth's ether, the invisible forces, the cosmic forces around it as it was changing, because global warming, everything is changing, everything changes, nothing stays constant. The inhabitants of the earth slowly progressed into the form to inhabit the earth as needed, such as the animals and everything. But that conscious form attached to a physical being. So the physical being to exist has to have the other form, has
Mm-hmm.
to have that energetic form, the energy centers, the energy centers are just an inverted rainbow. The sun emits 7 rays of the sun, 7 forces, frequencies, energy, which is the color spectrum of the rainbow, and that's in us as well. we're a creation of those forces, you know, that energy, the solar plexus. We emit those energies as
And
well.
those are the chakras, right?
Whatever you want to define it as. I mean, I read a lot on it, and I try to write my thoughts and stuff. I mean, I stumble on my words, and I'm not good with like the foreign terminology, and stuff, all that. But yeah, I mean, it's my own thing. But yeah, I like energy centers because energy. I think everything's energy and stuff. But yeah, chakras and stuff. Yeah,
Well,
Hinduism
that's a
has.
better way to explain what chakras are, because that's such a like, what is that? But yeah, like the energy centers.
Yeah, exactly. And then the glandular system is off that, and then the nervous system, and it's all energetic. That's all it is. You know, it's like the veins in our hand, same as the tree. You know, it's everything's interconnected so much. And yeah, and you know, some people say people have ability to see more defined energies um, in the atmosphere and stuff,
I believe
and the
that.
form the plants. Like the leaves look a certain way because that's the attraction, the energy it's attracting. So that's why everything's different.
Can we talk about how mushrooms give you superpowers?
uh, well, if we
As
go
far as being able to see energy.
if we go by the Mario Brothers, basically,
Right.
I mean, um, I mean they say DMT especially, but yeah, mushrooms open up. I don't know. There's open up the brain more to things that are out there that present day brain wouldn't see and feel. And it's amazing that nature can do that, you know. And that's, yeah, that I think is a huge part of our evolution as well, as foraging just in the forest for mushrooms at the cavemen, everything. And the mind really expands from that. Or you can drop dead too, but
Right.
believe
Yeah.
from
Um, did you watch Fantastic Fungi?
no, I have.
Okay. Well, that's how I learned about the theory of
Huh.
like the cavemen eating mushrooms, because there was like a short period of time in our history where our brains just grew, like I can't remember the exact number of times, but our brains just grew rapidly in a very short period. And
That's
they think, yeah, and they think it might be due to eating the mushrooms that
cool.
it
Huh.
like expanded our minds.
Well,
Um, but yeah, it's in that documentary, and I thought that, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised the fact that they like mushrooms create, like help create new neural networks in your brain and pathways, and kind of makes sense, right?
yeah, just like underground and stuff. Maybe that's why they're trying to keep it away from us. And but I mean, some states are legalizing it now to use. But like I sent you the article, I think, of the guy in Connecticut just got arrested for like $8 million worth of mushrooms and stuff because it's illegal in Connecticut. So I don't know, it's crazy.
That's
This,
terrible.
yeah, but then one thing I just wanted to bring up about big pharma and stuff, how, you know, they in Connecticut, it was all about Oxycontin and bribing all the politicians, and it's ruined so many people. And it was the Sackler family agreed to contribute $6 billion to Purdue Pharma's reorganization fund on the condition the Sackler family receive a release from civil liability. This after the family withdrew billions of dollars from the company before filing bankruptcy. So they pretty much were trying to run away from any liability
Mm-hmm.
of damage for what Oxycontin did. And it's that family behind Purdue Pharma. And it's all Connecticut. Connecticut's the insurance capital of the world. And we have no idea about natural health. No idea
Mm.
about natural medicine, plant medicine. And plant medicine is just going out and for lungs, mullein. we have this amazing wildflower, this big cone flower that you boil it, and mullein is so great for the lungs. And it's not just cannabis. I mean, it's everything altogether. It's pretty much prohibited from the mind of big pharma and insurance that the easiest, most efficient, effective way to cure just about everything is to get plants and just regular weeds. And that's all you need.
Which is exactly why I want to become a witch.
Oh, a good witch.
Yeah, just because I want to know how to use herbs and plants to heal ailments, which is you were considered a witch back in the day for that.
That's a great. The development of our society has tarnished that. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, my friends and I, we like to say we're witches because we're into like the healing properties of plants and using the natural resources of the earth.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I did know about the narcotics, or what would you call it? Opioid crisis, the Oxycontin, and that family. I heard, I need to look into it, but I think maybe they were reconsidering giving them no liability.
Yeah, researching.
Right?
Sorry to interrupt. I was researching it briefly on the internet, and it's gone to the Supreme Court and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's still ongoing, right?
And it just shows how corrupt our system, our court system is, our politicians are. They're just creating, manufacturing the most destructive force, and then they're destroying lives for people doing the right thing to medicate themselves properly. It's like you said, it's just so backwards and heartbreaking. And yeah, I mean, oh man, I had a wrestling teammate in college who's no longer here because he went down the painkiller Oxycontin road, and a handful of guys, but he definitely got the worst of it. So
yeah, I mean, it can happen to anyone who has any procedure done where they're prescribed these pills, and it's still happening today.
Yeah, I won't take painkillers at all. I'm a very addictive personality. So.
Yeah, I've tried them before, but I mean, I've never taken them consistently. I've only just experimented to try one before, a piece. I couldn't even take a whole one. They're too powerful. But yeah, it's such a shame. It really is. And I think it's just an example of just one of the ways that Big Pharma has really screwed us over with no lube, you know? Like,
Exactly. And like, yeah, like paying all this. I haven't seen a doctor in 15 years, and I'm still paying Connecticut 200, $300 a month for insurance. I won't go to
oh my God.
death with that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? Prison planet.
Yeah. Once we go down everything, all the different aspects of healthcare, you're right. It's just so corrupt and such a crazy system. And yet there are some positives, right? I had a rare disease, or I had a rare infection, valley fever. Have you heard of it?
No, I have to look it up.
I'll tell you about it. So you get it just from breathing in spores in the air. And so they're actually fungus spores. And our bodies fight the spores off, so we're fine. But for some reason, my body, and I think maybe because my lungs are a little compromised, didn't fight off the spores. And so it started growing on my lung.
Huh.
And I,
Fast.
yeah, right, like a mushroom. But I didn't know for a while. So by the time I figured it out, the symptoms were like tuberculosis.
Gosh.
Yeah, so the doctors thought I had tuberculosis, because valley fever is rare, even more rare.
Right. No, they didn't see it probably ever.
It looks the same when you, because they took an x-ray, it looks the same as tuberculosis.
Wow.
So that's another reason why they thought I had it. But I'm sorry, I don't, oh yeah. So my whole point is that modern medicine is great in that circumstance because they were able to help me. I would have died probably if
Right. The
I,
technology, yeah,
yeah.
technology, that's why technology is technology, because it's cutting edge and effective and efficient, but it's also very expensive. And I believe the Rockefeller family, who pretty much is all big medicine and everything, has a lot of partnership with the production of technologies and stuff. So I think, I don't know if you've heard rumors of like med beds and stuff. So I don't know if there's even greater prognostics and stuff out there that were not even are not available for us. So maybe technology is even crazier for health detection. So that's what I hope. And you know, who knows?
I've heard the exact same thing, and I do believe that it's going to advance to the point where you know, future us is looking back on us now like you guys are barbaric. Like the procedures, the medical procedures that we still do.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's going to get so much more advanced. It probably should be even more advanced than it is what I'm saying. But
Yeah. Well, then you have the AI factor, Terminator stuff, and it could get crazy conversations. So, I mean, yeah, and again, self-preservation. I think, yeah, it starts with our diet and everything, and being conscious of that, and early detection. As you said, you know, you didn't detect it early, and you really were in rough shape. So, thank God,
yeah,
technology.
don't ignore the signs your body gives you that something is wrong. Mine was just a tiny, tiny little like dot of blood
Hmm.
coming up, and I ignored that because it was
Hmm.
so small. It was like so tiny that I was like, just didn't think anything. And then one day, it was like a cup all of a sudden of blood,
Well,
and I had to go to the ER. And
that's
I was like, I'm dying. Something's wrong. And I didn't know. Um, but anyway, crazy story. Hey, you're back.
hola. What's up? I thought the internet gods did not want it anymore.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what happened. Did we just freeze all of a sudden and we just lost the connection?
I think so. Lost in space briefly. But we were talking about the energetic body for a while there, then the incarceration system, and then we kind of got back into food, and then Oxycontin and mushrooms.
Okay, I have a question. What is your most profound plant medicine experience?
Oof. Um. Well, there were many, and I guess I'll kind of talk about it, but it's kind of embarrassing. But for me, before I get into the story, I was just talking to my friend about, you know, experimenting hypothetically and stuff, and it's weird. It's strange how the mind has to learn how to calm itself at certain points and stuff, and separate from the body things. So, you know, I don't know. I think mind exercise is very good and stuff, but so me and the guy senior year in college after wrestling season with our assistant wrestling coach who lived next door, went out to Pittsfield, Mass to camp out on the Appalachian Trail, and sun was setting. We had you know, some beers and boom booms, and so we did all that, ate some, and it was sunset, so we're like, let's climb to the top of the mountain. And so we climbed to the top of the mountain, and I believe only one person had a flashlight. So we got to the top of the mountain, and the peak was beautiful. It was unreal, and but it was very dark. And the meathead ego, my college teammate Mike, my roommate, one of my best buds, was sprinting down the hill full speed, not really, but dodging trees, you know, having a fun time. And meathead Tom had to sprint down after him full speed, and my feet got caught or something, and I didn't know where anything was, and I fell face first off a cliff, and I don't know how far it was. They say like 15, 20 feet.
Oh my
And I
God.
fell, and my feet flopped over me, and I laid limp, I guess. And then I just popped right up, they told me. And I like had the vision, and like everything just was put together. And I have a picture, actually, I could get it, of after they wiped me off. But yeah, I had a huge hole. I have like two big like scars here. It's kind of ugly. Broke my nose a couple times wrestling in that. And yeah, so they could see my brain. I thought I was gonna die, and you know, peeking balls and stuff. So it was very interesting. And we were in Pittsfield, and we were college guys, and this was 2004, no GPS or anything. So we just took the route home, and they stopped at a VA to try to get me in, and they wouldn't let me in because I'm not a veteran. So,
Wait. Was this mushroom?
yeah.
Oh, okay, I just had to clarify that.
So, yeah.
Oh my, that sounds like a bad trip.
Yeah, literally on so many levels. But yeah, it was very fascinating, on top of the injury with that as well. And then finally made it to the hospital to get stitches. But that's when you said profound. I mean, to me, it was like a near.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
So no, it's okay. Let me. I'll show you.
It just sounds so tragic.
Yeah, but I'm live, and I look like Lionel from Thundercats after the stitches and stuff. My head was like puffed out, but I don't know if you can see. That was like.
Oh.
And there was another wound up here, but you couldn't see it because it was bad.
It was symbolic. Your third eye was really blasted open.
Oh, dude, totally. I mean, exactly. It's right, the third eye and the ajna right here between the eyes. So. Yeah, the energy didn't want me to leave the body fully, so here I am, 31, still talking about being a knucklehead, and is plant medicine beneficial? I don't know. Stupidity is stupidity, right? Stupid does, so.
Well, that was like the opposite of what I expected you to talk about, though, so thank you. I love that you just threw a curveball and took me somewhere I did not expect to go.
Life is all about the curveballs. I love blowing people's minds. That's like my literature and stuff. I love like shocking people, and like I did a lot of research on like the true Nazi force, you know, true with the Russian intelligence working together, you know, because Medonis is Lithuanian, so you know 500,000 Lithuanians perished, you know, during that span during World War II and previously. So I wrote a lot on that stuff, and the germ warfare and everything, the spare sheets and everything. It's still going on, the same force, you know. Fauci, you know, he's an evil dude. Big Pharma, it's such an evil terrorist network. And like you said, they have such a stranglehold over all of us, you know, to pay that insurance. But I don't even go to the doctor.
Yep. Sorry.
So
I had to prevent the cat from knocking over my setup right now.
oh yeah, I got
Anyway.
I got a gecko leopard, Elliot, and 2 cats and 2 dogs, and yeah, 4 kids, but they're at mom's house half the time and half time with me. So it's yeah, been interesting adapting to the conditions and stuff. So.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for taking some time to meet with me. I know it's later where you're at too.
Oh, it's no problem. I enjoy, I don't really do many interviews, but it's always wonderful to talk. And yeah, you're on the west side, I'm on the east side. And then I have to wake up early for work at like 5:30 or so, but that's fine. I'm like, whatever. It's not a big deal.
We'll go a little longer. We'll try to think of some things we really want to talk about right now. Anything coming up for you?
Well, I think we kind of covered a lot of stuff. I mean, and kind of talk. I don't know how I got into like thinking about spirituality and the energy centers and the invisible realms, which the rays, I felt when I was a kid, I thought I was like an idiot, feeling all these forces that hold everything together. And it was like I the day my dad died, I was sleeping at my friend's house, and before my mom even called to tell my friend's dad to come home and stuff, I knew that he died. I don't know how I knew it, but I felt it. And so after went home and stuff and talked to my mom, and she was like, yeah, Dad's dead and blah blah blah. I'm like, no, he's not really dead. He's still, part of him still alive. And yeah, since I was that age, I really just kept trying to prove the fact that the spirit and the soul really is always alive in energetic form and transmuting differently. So I don't know. We don't really talk about that side of things too much, but it's always been a part of me. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's really profound. I can imagine how you would dive so deep into that because it's someone that you care about so much and that you're so close to. So I can totally imagine. And I'm happy that you dove into that world, and you got to learn about it. that's that's really beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, life and death are the same. It's just different hands. It's interesting. I read somewhere the other day, I mean, gosh, it's probably not true or anything, but it kind of blew my mind of the light that people see at the end of their life is the same light that babies see when they enter the world. It's kind of, so it's different worlds, different powers, and I don't know, energy is fascinating, and just taking care of our own inner peace is so difficult with so many distractions and everything. I just actually reorganized my daughter's rooms, or they reorganized. Very proud of the 12 and 10-year-old girls they are. And they took the TV out of my room, so I don't have a TV in my room anymore. Not that I watch it really at all, but like so peaceful now. And it just makes me wonder if, the TV and all of the media, blah, 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 pandemic, blah, 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 if that was just eliminated from our minds, life would be so amazing and peaceful. And why do we have the talking head propaganda news that's only one way? Why can't AI be used for humanity? Why can't AI be programmed and directed for self-sustaining food supplies that are so effective, and people are equal and diverse, and not 40-year-old white men are the fucking, excuse my language, worst human beings on earth now, So I don't know what the solution is, but why can't we use AI in our favor?
Yeah, and we definitely can. Yeah, with the propaganda, the news, the media, I mean, the word media stems from the Greek word medea, which literally means deception. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the actual meanings of things are in plain sight, but we don't know. Um,
They do.
yeah, and like the word apocalypse, another Greek word that stems from the lifting of the veil. So
Exactly.
seeing the truth, and it's just I've been learning how mind controlled we all are. It is insane. Like I know I'm mind controlled, but that doesn't mean I'm immune to it. Like I can just see it now, like holy, these are all the ways that my I've been conditioned to think and believe. And it really, all of it is a means of control.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, going back to the plant medicine and cannabis and everything, that's the devil's lettuce and blah 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 blah. We should be making hemp houses. They're so much more effective. I saw in Colorado they're building these huge things. Everything, medicine, help epilepsy in kids. I mean, because it's a plant, it's so easy. It's not complicated, synthetic. Need all these scientists. You know, it's we just make it so difficult. And I don't know if it's because we have to create all these new jobs and names and bullshit, but it was interesting. I saw a George Carlin stand-up. I think I posted on Facebook about how World War One, they used the term shell-shocked, and it was, you know, a short term, and it meant all this stuff. And then go 100 years later, now they term it post-traumatic stress disorder. You know, they have all these hyphens and all these fancy names to describe this thing, shell-shocked, when the soldier's brain is fried. They can't handle any more stress that the enemy's throwing on them, you know? And I think we're all shell.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can give you PTSD, similar to being in the army, but I can't even imagine that level of PTSD.
Oh my gosh, I know, it's awful. And I mean, now they're using cannabis to treat it very successfully, I believe, and we're greatly reducing the soldiers' suicide numbers, because I read, you know, in years past how awful they were, and it is horrible. And my my grandfather, John, was in World War II, and his brother was killed in the war with him, Joseph Medonis, and that's kind of where I got all my early views on you know, the government and anti-war stuff from my grandfather, just really cranking to me how unnecessary war is. It's such a machine. You know?
Yeah.
He was
I'm glad that he had that ability to think, though, for himself.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The military industrial complex is just such an awful, horrible force. And it's all one conglomerate. All the world global militaries, you know, do drills and operations together. So it's such a smokescreen, you know, it's not one separate thing. They, the two-headed bird, you know, Napoleon and stuff, Alexander, you know, that's what it is. The two forces are truly one, you know, Hamas and Israel and all this, you know, it's all the behind the scene games, and, you know, who's creating all the weapons. And it's so sad. It's unfortunate. But where's the greater good, the greater force? You know, I mean, there's a lot of us, but no one in the institutions at all. I mean, I know I was very disappointed with the public education system during COVID and stuff, with kids in the school, working in the school. And I wrote notice of liabilities and religious exemptions, just to show the other side of the story, because the mask, you were eliminating so many etheric energies in the body, you know, and we don't even know how to comprehend all those energies and talk about it, where we're just saying, put on a mask and trap all your toxins in that you can't release, you know, from your respiratory system. And it was just unbelievable to me. And it's like like everything else, dust it under the carpet, you know. We just witnessed the biggest illusion ever promoted by our government and our healthcare system, and we're not talking about it at all. Brush it under the carpet. It's unreal.
There's always going to be those that wish to keep their eyes closed. And I don't want to say like it's all choice, but I don't know. It almost feels like it's a choice because the mind control is so deep that it almost feels like they don't want to know the truth, or like they can't like
Yeah,
accept it. Because you say, here's these facts, like this is the science that you're following. Hey, follow the science, trust the science. Okay, here it is. And
chemtrail.
yeah, but even though you do that, they're like no, I'm not gonna look at it. Or, that's not like they just like start insulting your sources even though they don't know your sources. Or they believe what you Google about this person's name that's being slandered.
Right.
Because they're being censored and blacklisted for speaking out and fired.
Yeah.
And
No, exactly.
it's a war on information and it's censorship.
Absolutely. It's unbelievable. Ignorance is bliss. And yeah, I've been censored on YouTube and stuff with interview with Addy ads and stuff. And yeah, it is a war on information. And yeah, I don't know. I've been like reading stuff and hearing stuff about the Mandela effect lately, and it kind of makes me think like, what the hell is going on? Are they just like slowly switching all this stuff on us as time evolves? And I don't know, it's crazy. Yeah, when you have control, like you said, of the media and stuff, I mean, damn. And now like looking into actors and Matthew Perry dying, and not that I like researched this, but they came up like his last tweets or something, and it was about Batman is a parent or something, or Batman signal or something. I'm like, I don't know, something's really strange about Hollywood and actors. Like, what are the actors really doing? Why are they making all that money? I mean, something's really strange. The painting, Hunter Biden's painting selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, these guys are just, it's one big network of scamsters. It's Catch Me If You Can on crack, literally. Runs America.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're just the apocalypse, the lifting of the veil. We're just kind of seeing like the Wizard of Oz, right? We're just seeing like who's behind the curtain with this industry and this one and this one and this one, and it makes up the Matrix, and that's what the Matrix is for anyone who wants to know what's the Matrix. There you go.
Yeah, you're right. The one is industry. The industry has the stranglehold over all of us. I mean, that's who's pumping in the stuff in the stores, in the sky, in the water, in the schools. They're pumping everything, and it's research led me to like BlackRock and Vanguard, and they're really, with the stock market, are in a stranglehold in control of everything. This goes there, and it's just corporations, and no more little mom and pop, no more little person that can create their own little cannabis crop and live off that. To grow cannabis in Connecticut, I think you have to pay the government like $25,000, or you have to be a buddy of Ned Lamont's or something. It's like, what the hell? I've gotten pretty good at it, and I get rid of all my weed, just give it up to my friends and stuff. But it'd be nice to profit a little bit off it, but I can't. I'm going to have the feds in my front door. They're probably already tapping my phone, and Home Security has me as the worst domestic terrorist on earth. Who knows? America.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this goes really deep. We could just keep going down one rabbit hole after the other. But yeah, it's really nice talking to you, someone who is so aware and conscious of the systems at play here and
Connecticut.
the power that be.
Connecticut's a very tough place. Going into like the organic health food store, and the majority of people are still wearing masks. Probably triple, quadruple boost it. It's like, that's the most synthetic thing from breathing in pure energy. That's where our prana, that's where we get most of our energy, is from our breath.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, can't make this up. The zombie apocalypse is real.
Right. Well, the last thing I'll talk about is something good, since you just brought up the prana and the life force. um, I have done mirror work before, on mushrooms, and that was extremely successful. I actually saw my aura for the first time and had this like breakthrough. That was cool. But I wanted to see,
Yeah.
what was that?
I can see your aura now. You have a big aura.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Well, you might see my sign. It's pink, but
No,
um,
the glow.
oh, cool, cool. Well, anyway, I wanted to see if I could do mirror work, not on mushrooms, and see what the effect would be, if that would work. And then I learned about that method where you stare into your pupils. And so that's all I was doing, was staring into my pupils for a super long time. I know it makes me sound like a crazy person, but if someone were to see me in my house. But anyway, what I ended up seeing was, I could see the breath, but it was like I could see the energy of each breath I was taking, as it entered and as I exhaled. When I inhaled, I saw my body lighting up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I exhaled, I saw it leave and come in and come out. And it was literally like white light energy. And so I was seeing the life force.
Yeah.
So trippy, but
white energy is healing mama energy. Yeah. Yeah. That's the best energetic light force. Yeah.
yeah. And I will never I already looked at breath is a certain way, but I will never look at it the same again now. Like, I will always look at it as something so sacred.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm getting into like breath work and things like that, and learning all about the breath, but it's really amazing.
We are light beings. Yeah. And it all starts, life begins and ends with the breath. And really bringing that breath into your lower abdominal and your root chakra. That's really the energizer, energy center. All the way, expand your stomach, push the sides, the back, and really, feed it there. Connect all that energy. Your lower earth energy is brought in through your feet. So if you can create that one force down there, then yeah, you should be enriched with a lot of prana and stuff. Yeah, we've forgot how to breathe properly. When we're babies in Irito and stuff, we're breathing proper, huge breaths and everything, and then yeah, distract it, and yeah, that's our health goes with it. So yeah, good. Hindu breathing practice, I highly recommend. Beginning breathing stuff, just like 6 counts. You breathe in, hold it, then switch nostrils and stuff. Look it on the internet. That's a great easy practice to really bring in a lot of prana and store it. Prana is really stored when you hold the breath.
Yeah. Okay, this was a good reminder to do some breath practices. I've heard about the alternate nostril breathing and a little bit in yoga and things like that.
Yeah, just an idea. There's many other, and I highly recommend a Taoist exercise. The deer exercise is a meditation, especially for women, because you're connected to the moon and you have cycles and you lose a lot of your nutrients and stuff. So there's ways you can bring in and channel those energies through your microcosmic orbit again, rather than losing and flushing a lot of them. You can restore them and bring them into your body. So there's ways to control our energy and heal ourselves. So yeah, The Great Tao is a great book to start with that has the dare exercise and stuff by Dr. Stephen Chang. So
Okay, cool. We got a comment saying it feels that with breath work and sound healing that they can work with mirror work as well.
I've never done mirror work. It sounds very interesting. Maybe I'll try after this.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend it. My whole goal when started was just not to look away.
Hmm.
Just no matter what I see, don't look away. I've always struggled with like low self-esteem, and so, and a lot of us, we just don't look in the mirror like at ourselves. Like we just don't, like we look down and stuff. We don't want to look at ourselves, like acknowledge ourselves. Um, so especially when you take psychedelics like shrooms, there was a rumor, don't look in the mirror.
Hmm.
That was always the rumor. So then, of course, let me try mirror work while on mushrooms because I'm always trying to make things intense. And, but yeah, let me tell you, one of the most profound experiences in my entire
Hmm.
life. I was already on the path to spirituality, but don't you just love how these things happen when you're already on that path, and just these profound, just confirmations, right?
Why we walk the path.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a moment, just cherish the moment and then progress to new ones. That's what it's all about. Yeah, it's filled with, and it's so blessed to be able to feel that. Not many people reach that evolution of consciousness and stuff. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, look, the comment with breath work, sound healing. Yeah, those are important, but I think some type of body movement with that is very important, especially with aging and stuff, is just utilizing the body, because the mind and the body really go hand in hand with the energetic body as well. And doing like, even I highly recommend acupuncture and stuff, moving that, the blocked energy and stuff. I think that's a great remedy for health and stuff as well, going outside of depending on medicine and whatnot.
Yeah. Have you done acupuncture?
Oh yeah, that cupping and yeah, I actually have to make an appointment. I found like a gift certificate from my ex-wife from like 3 years ago, so I have to make an appointment. So I don't know. I try to do it once a year just to circulate and move that stagnant energy, and it really goes a long way. But it's been a couple years, so I'm definitely due. And yeah, the cupping is really cool. Leaves those big
Oh
marks
yeah.
on the backs. So I'm all beat up from wrestling, so it feels really good and refreshing. Feel kind of new, renewed for a little while.
I'll tell you one more thing. I was a 13-year-old, 80-pound state wrestling champion.
For real?
Yeah,
You snap and shoot. You know how to wrestle?
I do. I was little when I
Oh,
did it, but I grew up with brothers. I grew up wrestling and fighting with them my whole life.
wow.
So I knew how, I
Oh,
just
girls
like,
wrestling is huge. Yeah, my daughter took fourth at the girls' states when she was like 6. Yeah, it's so great for. I think everyone should learn how to wrestle, and I love seeing the girls. I coach a number of girls, and yeah, they're so. A girl wrestler out of boys and girls, her senior year was my MVP because she was the toughest person on the team. And yeah,
I was definitely tough. My first match, I wrestled a guy and he was bigger than me, and I ended up making him cry.
wow, impressive.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and I wasn't even trying to. I was just, trying to win.
what
And
state is this? Oh,
California.
oh, California wrestling's huge. That's probably the best state of wrestling. One of the best, Pennsylvania and stuff. But wow, that's great.
Yeah, I didn't do it long term. I only did 2 years, but hey, best 2 years. It was my favorite sport. I got rookie of the year.
Nice.
It was my favorite sport. Like I never stuck to anything that long.
It's different. It's very different. And I was a big troublemaker, punk kid in high school after my dad died, especially. And the only reason I wrestled is my stepdad, well, my mom's boyfriend at the time, made $100 bet with me that I couldn't make it through a wrestling season. So sophomore year in high school, I started wrestling and got the $100 bet. And then, yeah, 3 years later, I was a state champ, and it got me into college. So wrestling saved my life. Absolutely. So I'm happy you experienced it as well. I wish everyone did.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
I had to bring that up because I knew that I heard you say that you were a wrestler, so I just had to laugh about the synchronicities,
Mm,
There's always synchronicities, and that happens to be one of ours.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Wrestling's where it's at.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, gosh, I think we covered a lot more than my note allowed us to. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, I just think doing like this, things like this and talking like this is probably the only solution and cure to break the mind control, stagnant thought process of plant medicine and organic lifestyles and freedom of speech is I'm living by it, probably by the thread of my freaking skin. But I'm just saying how I feel. And why am I getting censored? Facebook says, what's on your mind? So I'm going to say what's on my mind, and then I'm going to get kicked off for a month.
Oh,
I mean,
oh.
I mean,
Yeah, Facebook censors way more than Instagram. Way, way
well,
more.
I just got on Instagram like 5 days ago because I got off of it because they blocked me for a week because of a comment I made on Facebook. I didn't even make the comment on Instagram, but they still blocked me. So I was like, I'm done with them. But then, but now I'm back. So here I am, and whatever. I don't understand any of this new social media, shameless promotion stuff. It's not for me. I'm not part of the matrix. Maybe my literature will be read when I'm dead. So that's usually the case. But what?
Hey, you're doing something right. You published a bunch of books. I was able to read one of them tonight.
Thanks.
And, and you're here. This is how I met you. So, there are advantages and good things, right? Like we're spreading this kind of media versus
Mhm.
the mind control.
No,
So,
super.
you
Thank you
know,
for.
yeah, I mean, but on the other end, I do fully agree with what you're saying too about the technology and the censorship, and it's really crazy. Hopefully I don't get censored, and if I do, there will have to I'll have to figure that one out when I get there, I
Yeah,
guess.
I hope I don't get you censored. I'm a scumbag.
We
I,
dropped so many bombs.
so yeah, I am what I am.
No, I mean, that's what this podcast is all about. Honestly, just talking to people about what they think. So,
I think we did that pretty well.
thank you for being here, and I guess let's call it a night.
Peace out.
Hi everyone. Peace.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.